Okay, what's up, everyone? We're officially live on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and in the Discord. We have Amazon's earnings. We also have Cloudflare's earnings, which is ticker symbol NET, N-E-T. So hopefully everyone can see my screen on the Discord. If you can't, I'll post the YouTube link. So if you're having trouble seeing my screen, just go on over to YouTube. You can watch it just fine over there. So we got Amazon reporting and Cloudflare reporting. Let's see the exact time they're reporting. So Amazon's supposed to report like now. It says 4 p.m. Eastern according to Earnings Whispers. So so we are getting a reaction on Amazon. It's kind of mixed signals in the Discord today. Some people were long, some people weren't holding anything. Some people had shares, some people had options, mixture of long and short, but obviously getting a negative reaction here. Amazon closed the regular session at 238.78, up 1.11% on the day. But they're obviously getting a bearish reaction to the data right now. We'll see if this ends up being, I mean, it looks like this is going to be a down move. I don't think there's going to be some fake move or anything like that. It's down almost $11 a share right now, down almost 5%. So it's definitely catching a negative reaction. Let me go over here to my other screen because we do have net reporting. Cloudflare, big software company. So I've actually been trading net quite a bit lately, and we've been doing a lot of diagonal calendar presses or calendar spreads on it, if you will, and we've been making some decent money on it. So let me go back to the sticks on trading view real quick. Net's kind of sitting flat right now, not really getting a reaction yet. Let me go back here. They're supposed to report at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, okay, according to Earnings Whispers. So we got about another 10 minutes or so for Cloudflare's data to come out. But let me see if I can get some the data on Amazon. Just give me 1 second and type this out and see if we can get some EPS, some revenue data, maybe some forward guidance. And of course, the CEO is going to have his web call with everyone. That's probably going to be around 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll double check that for everyone and get everyone a link to that if anyone wants to join the web call with the CEO. So let me just come over here and start off by getting some data here. Okay, so I do got a little bit of Amazon data. The EPS came in at $1.86. So they did beat the expectations by quite a bit. The forecast was $1.48 for the EPS. The revenue, they did beat revenue as well. Revenue came in at 187.8 billion. The forecast was 187.2 billion. So just barely beat the revenue. Kind of came in line a little bit, but nice beat on EPS. They're not catching a bid yet. There's probably something up with their forward guidance. Let me just show this graphic here. This is just what I went over here, the double beat. So they beat EPS, beat revenue. Obviously, there's an issue with their guidance because they've gotten a negative reaction here. So let's see if they can start clawing their way back up. We'll see. Let me see if I can get just some of the things that, let me just kind of post this little cheat sheet that we got here. So just a quick overview. Amazon tends to beat huge on earnings with small revenue beats. So they did beat big on EPS. They beat that by quite a bit. It's the actual revenue, though, they didn't really beat by a lot. For the past 3 quarters, there's really been no big moves after the earnings, just, a little piece of info there. 40x forward PE is near a 12-month high. 58 RSI is below recent peak. Stock is plus 8% year to date. They did gain 47% in 2024. And the traders are eager to hear about the AWS strength following Microsoft and Google's data center capacity issues. We saw Google sell off the other day. There were some members in the Discord that went long on Google today. 190 call option, March expiration. either March 14th or March 21st, and those calls were already up today. Someone in the Discord was up $1,000 or so. But also another thing to keep in mind is that the tariffs and the CapEx plans, in light of the DeepSeek news that dropped recently, AI and the 2025 economic outlook is definitely going to be in focus. And they were pricing in 5.8% move. That's up plus or minus $13 basically. It is trying to come back up, so it looks like we had some dip buyers. Now, keep in mind I'm on the 1 minute chart, so I'll take it with a grain of salt, but it does look like it's trying to claw back a little bit, and buyers are stepping in to the picture. The Q3 stock was minus 3.3% when they did the previous earnings for Q3, and that was so they were negative the next day, and that was after they had a 25% EPS beat and a 1% revenue beat. And then the earnings before that, they were down again 1.6%, kind of similar. They were 24% EPS beat and minus 1% revenue miss. So here we are today. They actually beat EPS and they beat revenue just by a little bit. But it looks like investors aren't really getting too excited about their forward guidance. So that's why we had that initial negative reaction there. Let me move this over to the side real quick. And let's just jump over to net just real quick. Closed the regular session at 141 and 6 cents, or I'm sorry, 141 and 46 cents. They were down almost 2% on the day. But net's been on a hell of a rally. If you look at the daily chart, they've been climbing for a while now. We were actually running spreads on this back when they were trading around $100. And we made some pretty decent money on some spreads, and we've just been kind of following the price up with spread trades and making some good money. Amazon, again, still trying to claw back. It's kind of just sitting there right now, though. Let me just take a quick look here. I just want to go 2-chart view on Webull just real quick. I'll keep net on the right. We'll put Amazon over here. And just want to see how much it's kind of retraced, kind of get an idea of how much clawing back it's doing. I'll draw it down to the bottom wick. So yeah, I mean it's retraced. It's sitting at the golden fib right now, 61%. So price is looking like it's having trouble getting back above there. But let's take a look at the order book. Yeah, I got a sell side imbalance on the order book. We'll see. Got a pretty big order at 230. Looks like that just got ate right through. So got some sellers on the tape. So just be on the lookout. We did have some dip buyers stepping in about 5 minutes ago. They're kind of losing strength here. So we'll see what happens. Just kind of keep your eye on the chart there. Let me refresh my other screen. And I want to see if we got some info on net. And also want to post the EPS and sales. Okay, this is from Shai Balor. Thank you for the info. He just posted some good info for us here. And this is Amazon. So we do got a little bit of guidance. Q1 outlook. They're saying sales. Okay, this is what kind of hurt them. They came in with a forecast of 154 billion. And the previous forecast was 159 billion. So they did reduce guidance there on the sales front. And operating margins came in at 16 billion. The forecast before was only 15 billion. So that's not good there. So they reduced guidance on operating margins and sales. So that's why they got the negative reaction. Okay, that's exactly what did it. So thank you, Shai, for that information. I'm going to go ahead and post this on YouTube so everyone has that data. And just give me 1 second, and then we'll flip over to net. It's almost 4:10 p.m. Eastern here. But let me post this Amazon stuff on YouTube. There we go. I'll put it on the bottom of my screen there so everyone can see the info we just went over. And just to kind of recap, again, for Amazon, sales came in 187.8 billion versus the forecast of 187.2 billion. So they beat there by just a little bit. they beat strong on the EPS. It came in at 186. The forecast was 150. So you got to think, if the forecast was 150, they beat by 0.36. So 0.36 divided by 150. So they beat EPS by 24%. That's pretty good. It wasn't good enough though for investors because they're mainly looking at the forward guidance. And again, the outlook, sales 154 billion versus the previous estimate of 159 billion. So they lowered the outlook on sales, and the operating margins forecast was lowered. Looks like I forgot a piece of that. And operating margins was at 16 billion. The estimate was 15 billion. So that's what we got for Amazon. Yes, they did have a double beat, but they lowered guidance. And, I don't care what your EPS and revenue comes in at. If you lower guidance, that's what investors are mainly looking at. The markets are, of course, forward looking. So that's basically the deal with Amazon right now. Now, TK on Discord says coming back up. Yeah, it's trying to come back up. We'll see if this holds right here. This, not the candle it's working on now, but that previous green candle print, that was right around 228.30 share price. So we'll see if maybe that holds and ends up being a higher low. Maybe it can start trending back up. So higher low would kind of look something like this, kind of make this yellow line there. So, we're just kind of looking for higher lows to see if it does start trending back up. We do got a few more levels on the Fibonacci. It needs to retrace. So kind of still waiting on that. But again, just some possibilities for the remainder of extended hours price action. Look for, I'm just going to call it 228. I'd like to see 228 moving forward, and then perhaps that turns into a higher low, and that would be a nice pattern for a nice retracement to continue there. So we'll see what happens with Amazon, but that's the sum. That's the deal with them. They beat EPS, they beat revenue, but they lowered forward guidance on sales and operating margins. Operating margins actually, the number's higher than what the forecast was because, but the higher the number on that is not good. So, the guidance changed in a negative way, and that's why we initially got this negative reaction on Amazon. So again, just keep your eyes on it in extended hours. See if it attempts to start making higher lows. We definitely don't want it coming back down to the 221, the low 220s, because then the price would be at risk of making a new low in after hours, and we don't want to see that. We want, for the Amazon bulls, we want to see this starting to make higher lows. Okay, we are getting. Let's flip over to net real quick since we got the data on Amazon. We know exactly what happened there. Let me go back to here and see if we got data on net. Net's getting a negative reaction. I'm not. I was saying in the beginning of the stream, I've been trading net with some of the members in the Discord for several months now, and we brought in some really decent money on it. We're not currently. I do have a downside hedge in place for net. It's a put option that expires in March. That we were basically using that as collateral to sell options, weekly options against it. That's what we were doing for the past few months, and that's how we've been able to bring in some decent income on it. So I do still have that March put option just kind of sitting there. We've already been reimbursed for the cost of that March put option on net through the weekly options we've been selling every week. All the weekly income we've been collecting, we've already been fully reimbursed for that March put hedge, if you will. So it's kind of just a free put option sitting there on my account, along with the other members that have been trading it with me. So my point is as far as like a weekly income trade on net, we skipped this week because of the earnings. I don't really like holding short options through earnings. All my premium sellers out there know exactly what I'm talking about. So we decided to skip trading a weekly trade on net this week because of the earnings, and which means we don't technically have like a long open position open. So I'm okay with net pulling back. I mean, shoot, I'd love to get a discount on this stock. The initial reaction on net was negative. Okay, so it's still down there. Let me look at, got slight sell side imbalance on the order book. Okay, it's definitely coming down now. So It was down 2% on the day, closed the regular session at $141.43. And now it's sitting here in after hours down about $15-16 a share. So it is taking a hit. That's one thing I've noticed with some of these bigger companies and the earnings is we've been seeing a lot of negative reactions lately. Look at Google and some of the other ones that we've seen negative reactions on. And now we can throw net and, I'm not going to speak too soon on net because the price reaction is going on right now as we're streaming. So we let the price calm down a little bit, but, got an initial reaction on negative reaction on Amazon. Yes, it's trying to claw back up, but of course it wasn't an initial positive reaction, and that would have been a lot better for the bulls, of course. So let me see if I got some data on net, because net wicked down to 123 a share after, it kind of tapped 143 before the selling started when they reported the earnings data, wicked all the way down to 123. Is that a Webull glitch or what? That's $20 a share it came down. Let me look on here, intraday on TradingView. Sometime, yeah, TradingView's got the same thing. It wicked down to 123, and now it's coming back up. So something neat with net, and we see it from time to time, is sometimes the initial reaction isn't the real reaction, right? Sometimes it's just the initial knee-jerk reaction, and then it ends up going the other way. That's not necessarily the case with Amazon as far as, these volatile candles that we see. What I'm talking about is, like, for instance, on this Amazon chart, have the initial red candle. I'm talking about the very next candle being green and engulfing that one. That's what I mean by some of these initial reactions aren't really the real move. Amazon's reaction was the real move, and now it seems like buyers are trying to dip buy this thing, and it's slowly trying to come back. Net is kind of what I was talking about. Let me go to 1 minute chart. So initial reaction was negative, and now it's kind of catching a bid, right? It's up. This thing was down 16, or ended up being down $20 a share from the 143 high that it made in after hours, and then boom, immediately reverses. So this is what I mean, how that initial reaction isn't always the real reaction. It looks like it's working on the real reaction now. Now it's up 6.5%, up to $10 a share, trading in the 150s now after closing the regular session at 141. So let's see if I got some data on that. I already posted the Google data the Amazon data on YouTube. Give me 1 second. Let's see if we got this here. Okay. Cloudflare beats by 0.01. So they beat EPS by 0.01, not by much. They do beat on revenue. They guide, let's see here, revs in line. They're catching a bid for some reason. Let's see. Revenue, okay, revenue came in, okay, yeah, there it is. The revenue came in at $459.94 million. The forecast was $452.1 million. So they beat on revenue. EPS came in at 0.19, and the estimate for EPS was 0.18. So they did double beat. There was a typo in that other one, but I got this data from Unusual Whales. They're pretty spot on. So let me post Cloudflare's EPS and revenue data. So that was a double beat. And then I'm going to see if I can find some sort of guidance here. Let me just take another look. Okay. Got more Amazon. Everyone's on Twitter talking about Amazon right now. Also, just a fun fact, net has beat revenue 16 of the last 17 times. That's really good. Really good track record, if you will. I'm going to post Cloudflare's EPS and revenue. There we go. So everyone can see that. So double beat from net. Let me keep scrolling here. And okay, yeah, we already talked about the earnings preview. And let's look at some other thing here. Thank you, Shy Balor, if you're listening. I love you to death, brother. Got some good info on net. I'm actually going to post Shy Balor's data on Twitter. he's got a huge following on Twitter, and he's also part of our Discord group. So love having him around. He's awesome. He's got Q1 guidance and fiscal year 2025 guidance. So thank you for posting that, Shai. We'll just go over this real quick. And Q1 guidance, sales 469 million. The previous estimate was 474 million. So they kind of decreased Q1 guidance down, but the fiscal year 2025 guidance sales came in at 2.1 billion. The forecast was 2.1 billion. So I think investors were maybe worried that they were going to lower fiscal year 2025 guidance, and they did not lower the sales for fiscal year 2025. That came in line. So maybe that's what investors are excited about, is unlike some of these other tech companies like Amazon and Google who have been lowering their 2025 forecasts, Net didn't do that, at least with sales. They did lower the EPS a little bit. Okay, EPS fiscal year 2025 guidance came in at 0.80. The estimate was 85. So, you know, they did lower the EPS, but they did not lower their sales guidance, and I think that's why they kind of caught a little bit of a bid there. We'll see if they can hang out up here. They're trading at $150 a share right now after closing a regular session at 141. We'll go back to Amazon just for a second. They are definitely clawing back here. They've retraced some pretty key levels. Number one, it's the initial 25% retracement. We always want to see that get broke, and they had no problem retracing that. It actually, after the sell-off move, it retraced right back to the golden fib. Kind of had some issues there, pulled back to 228s, and now it's you know, making a nice little clawback retracement here. And again, $228 a share. That's what I was saying earlier. I would really like for that to hold, so that could form a higher low on the chart. You know, for you technical analysis people out there. I'm personally more of a fundamental financial type of trader. I sell. I'm a premium seller. I write a lot of contracts, do a lot of sell to open for credit and stuff like that. So, you know, I try and do that on companies that have good fundamentals and financials, and companies I don't mind owning in case of assignment on a cash secured put or what have you. But I do still obviously look at technicals, because, you know, I try and sell cash secured puts at support and try and sell covered calls at resistance, and kind of see milking it two ways there. So anyways, yeah, Amazon looks like it's definitely trying to claw back. Just again, keep your eye on the chart. You know, we only got the 1 minute chart to go off of right now, because this catalyst just got, you know, released. You know, it just happened, and the data just got released. So, you know, as time goes on, maybe bump it up to the 3 or 5 minute. But, you know, I guess we could look at the 5 minute to paints a little bit more of a clearer picture. 1 minute just kind of gets a little sloppy sometimes, but since the earnings data was just released, we just want to see it making higher lows, and it's looking like it's doing that. So we definitely got dip buyers on Amazon. So for the Amazon bulls, you know, I know the initial reaction was negative, but it's not all doom and gloom. We got people buying the dip here. We'll see if it can hold up, you know, for the remaining of extended hours. It's almost 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So, you know, we got 3.5 more hours of price action. So keep your eye on it. Look out, you know, keep watch for higher lows, and I think the bulls will be just fine. It might even retrace back to where it closed the regular session at, which was $238. It's trading right around 234 right now, so not really down too bad, and it's clawing back, so that's good. Net had Net was a little bit of a sloppy price action. It had this initial reaction down and lost $20 a share, and then obviously someone bought the dip on that and ended up going almost to 159. Now it's pulled back again, still trading above the, I believe that's the 21. Okay, that's the 20-day moving average. That's fine. So kind of bounced right to the money on that 20 moving average. Now again, this is the 1 minute chart, so take it with a grain of salt. But technically, it's green here in after hours. It's up 4.5%, trading at almost about $147, $148 a share. And again, close the regular session at 141. So net looks pretty good. I'm going to definitely be watching net, because I might even open a trade on it tomorrow. Possibly another diagonal calendar spread. because I still have my my longer dated put open. So I'll just use that as collateral and sell a weekly option for next Friday. I'll see what the remaining after hours price action does. And of course, we got the pre-market data in the morning. And then I'll open up my, of course, do my option trade when the opening bell happens tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait 30 minutes to an hour for the opening move to happen. And then I'll definitely be looking to re-enter that trade. So good stuff there. Let me post this. Okay, so we already got the net. We already got the net data posted, the EPS, the revenue, and we went over Amazon already. So again, with Amazon, they did have a double beat, but they lowered outlook. Okay, they lowered guidance. But I don't think they lowered it like crazy, and that's why people are probably buying it's trending back up now. It's just trying to retrace that initial move. So Amazon's a Goliath, so they're going to be just fine. If you're long on Amazon, I wouldn't get too worried. All right. And another thing you could have done, someone was asking me earlier in the Discord, they were long Amazon with shares, right? And one thing you can do, depending on how many shares you have, and of course, if you have a minimum of 100 shares, then what you could do to maybe hedge some of the downside on your shares is, just sell a covered call. That would hedge the downside a little bit. It doesn't hedge the whole downside, because we're only collecting a certain amount of premium on the covered call. But to my when I was looking at this earlier, let me just look at this. You probably could have done right before the earnings, and of course, when you sell the covered call, make sure it's above your cost basis. All right. But look what these covered calls were selling for, especially this February 21st monthly cycle, 15 days out. The one at the money, the 240 strike at the money was selling for about $850 a pop. So if you got, let's say you have 200 shares of Amazon, you could have easily sold 2 covered calls at $850 a piece times 2 and brought in an easy $1,700 in income. Also kind of a $1,700 hedge to the downside, right? A downside hedge on your shares. And also look at it this way. If let's say your average on Amazon was, let's say you just have had shares and maybe your average on Amazon was like $220 a share, just to kind of pull a number out of the air there. If your cost basis was $220 a share and you sold, let's say that 240 call, don't forget that the premium you collect when you sell that 240 covered call. So in this case, it was $850, which would be 8.50 in the option world. Don't forget, if your cost basis was 220, you can use that 850 to reduce your cost basis. So you technically know what your cost basis is. So 220 minus the 850 you collected for the covered call, you would have dropped your cost basis down to $211.50 with that cash, with that covered call deployed. Now you obviously would have had to have done that before the earnings announcement that just happened. And this is some of the things I was helping some of the Discord people with earlier in the day today. Just some ideas on how you could hedge your shares. Another idea on how to implement a downside hedge if you were long Amazon shares is you could have easily, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just buy a naked put option and that'll be my hedge. Yeah, you can do that, but in my opinion, to make it a little bit affordable, if you would have bought a downside hedge, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money. One way around that is you could just form a put debit spread. That would have been a good downside hedge. That would have probably potentially paid a little bit more money than, well, what you could do, you could have 2 downside hedges. You could sell the covered call, so that'll protect you. Let's say you had 200 shares, you sell the covered call for $850. You have a $1,700 downside hedge there on the shares, which also reduce your cost basis. And then you can deploy a put debit spread if you wanted even more protection. And that would simply just be, you'd probably go out of the money with it a little bit to get a really good risk reward. And how that would look is, let's say you probably could have implemented this one here. You could have basically buy to open the 232.50 put I'll just go off the bid prices here, and that would have cost you $580. But simultaneously on the very same trade ticket, you're going to sell to open the 230 put, and that would bring you in a credit of $490. So the 580 debit minus the 490, that put debit spread would only cost you $90. All right. And that's in lieu of paying $580 for a naked 232.50 put. So instead of doing that, you can form the put debit spread. Yes, it does limit your upside a little bit, but instead of paying $580 for your protection, now you can just do a put debit spread, and just for one of them, it'll only cost you $90. And look at the potential return on the put debit spread if you need it. If that hedge did need to be utilized, it's a 250 wide spread, so it's worth $250 in the options world. So 250 minus the $90 debit that you paid to open it, that leaves a max profit of $160, which is a good thing. So if that hedge did need to be used, you would get your $90 back that you originally spent to open it. So you'd get that back plus 160 on top of it. So 160 divided by the $90 risk that you would also get back. I mean, that's 177% return on capital, on risk, if you will. I'd say return on risk. So 177% return on risk, that only cost you $90. So instead of paying $580 for a naked put for protection, maybe just do like a handful of those put debit spreads at $90 a pop. And let's say you did 3 of them. So 90 times 3. So now you could have some really decent downside protection, and it would only cost you $270. You could have 3 put debit spreads open and only cost you $270 instead of paying $580 for the naked put. And then you're battling theta and all that crap. We don't really care about theta too much when it comes to spreads. We just want to make sure the underlying stock price is on the correct side of our spread. And then that's how we make money in the spread world. So you could have done that. And then, of course, I had already mentioned you could have deployed some covered calls, and you would have been very well protected on the downside, I think, because, even if Amazon gets a negative reaction, I definitely see it. It's a type of stock that there'd be dip buyers there. And we're seeing that live right now. You can see them buying the dip right now. It's already made. I mean, this is a 1 minute chart. So, but when it wicked down to 221.75, made this higher low at 228. That was the first higher low we were looking at. Looks like it made another one at 229, mid 229, so like 229.50. And then boom, we got a third higher low here at around 232. So this is exactly what we want to see when we're trying to determine, is this retracing? Are there dip buyers entering the picture right now? Are there investors that are trying to get a discount that maybe they hadn't been, maybe they've been waiting on entering Amazon because they're waiting on a pullback. Well, the market just gave a pullback right there, almost $20 a share pullback. And then you see the flood of investors that were either on the sideline or perhaps averaging down, or just investors looking for a discount on the stock. They got the discount and now it's coming back up. So congrats to anyone who bought the dip on Amazon just now. You should be up pretty well, especially if you grabbed it somewhere in the 220s. I mean, this thing's looking like it wants to go break the level it closed at. It's gunning for 238.83, which was the close of the regular session. That was the price there. Anyways, I've been yapping. I've been yapping. I forgot to see if there's any questions or anything. Tammy on Discord. Yep, it looks like definitely it's recovering. TK also had mentioned that. So Kiwi too. Yeah, Kiwi on Discord. Amazon is back. Yeah, absolutely. So everyone's kind of seeing what I'm seeing. Tammy on Discord says, "I like your yapping." LOL. I can ramble for a long time about things, but according to people in the Discord, they like when I do that. Obviously, I'm giving out some really good information to people and just some of the things that I see. But again, in the Discord, we have something for everyone in the Discord. What I was touched on this earlier. What I mainly do is sell premium. Okay, that's more of an advanced way of trading, more advanced options. That's the multi-leg options. Lots of put credit spreads. We do put debit spreads. When we want to short something, we usually deploy call credit spreads. And don't get confused. That is a bearish trade because we're basically short the call. And if you're short the call, then we're bearish. So we do call credit spreads when we want to short stuff. And we also do, I've been doing a lot of call debit spreads lately. I had a pretty sweet call debit spread trade that we did on Netflix not too long ago where we made triple digit return on that, no problem. We do condors. I do inverse iron condors for the earnings. That's similar to a traditional iron condor, but instead of 2 credit spreads on each side of the price, it's 2 debit spreads on each side of the price. So those are always fun to trade. And we trade lots and lots and lots of wheel strategy. That's been my #1 earner over the years as far as consistency. And believe it or not, return on capital, because it's so consistent, the return on capital is amazing on that. I've been trading the wheel for years. And I've got like 3 or 4 open wheel trades going on right now with the Discord group. So yeah, if you're looking for a new home, come check us out. We got something for everyone. Again, if you want to get more involved in advanced options trading, where we're actually selling options for credit and premium, you're going to want to come see me. My name's the Swinging Bull in the Discord. My real name is Benjamin. So if you'll see some links in the description of the stream here. If you want to just join the free section and see how you like it, there's a link to join for free. If you want to jump right into my coaching group, I think it's like 30 or 40 bucks a month. I'll make that back for you on the first trade plus a lot more. So feel free to come check me out. If you end up joining, just tag me in Discord and I'll come say hello to you. But if you're a day trader, maybe you just trade the opening move, you're going to want to go see Coach Ethan. He trades the market open every morning, and they made some decent money on some Tesla puts this morning. I don't know if y'all saw that opening move on Tesla this morning. Let me just zoom out a little bit here and go back to that. Yeah, this is still the 1-minute chart, but that's fine. You see this down move here. They traded that this morning, and members made a ton of money on that. So if you want to trade the market open and you just day trade options, go see Coach Ethan. All right, he's your guy. Advanced options, Coach Bull. That's me. If all you want to do is swing trade stock, like maybe you just trade equity, you don't mess with options, that's fine. You're going to want to go see Coach Mad Maverick. His name's Lee, but his Discord name's Mad Maverick. Tag him in the chat. Join our group. Tag him in the chat, and he is our swing trading coach, right? And then we also have Coach Jasmine. She just joined the team recently, and she's more of our technical analysis trader. So you're going to want to go see her, Coach Jasmine, if you join the group. But yeah, it's been. Let me show everyone how to get to the web call with the CEO for Amazon, and then I'll post a link for that because I know there's quite a few people. We got over 1,000 people tuning in right now. Probably very Twitter heavy. We got a pretty big following there. Also streaming on YouTube and Twitch. But yeah, welcome everyone. It's been nice to hang out with everyone and chat about the EPS and revenue and guidance on Amazon and net, and it's always fun to talk about that kind of stuff. Let me get the link to the Amazon web call, okay? And I'll make sure I'll post that for everybody. And then I won't take up too much more time from everyone. But let me get that link, okay? Give me 1 sec here to type this out. There we go. So it's real easy. Very simple, y'all. You're going to Google Amazon Investor Relations. That's literally all you got to do. And you probably just go to event. If you want to see the results, you can click on there, but you click on events right here. That's probably where the web call is going to be. And here it is right here, Q4 2024 Amazon earnings conference call. All right. And that's today's date, February 6th, and 2 p.m. Pacific time. So I believe that's 5 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So that's about another 20 minutes. And hopefully y'all can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. And I'm just going to copy this link. I'll post this on YouTube. Y'all can screenshot it if you want to, because there's a lot of people that are heavy on Amazon that are long. They got big positions, and I'm sure they want to hear what the leadership has to say. So there's the link to the web, and this will take you right to the web call with the CEO. And once you get there, just click right here. Click here for webcast. Let's see, they may ask you to fill out a little form, and that's fine. You can just click register here, and they'll probably ask for your name and email. It's fine, and that'll let you into the web call. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it. Let me move this back over. And okay, Tammy, so let me see. You hit your target for the week a day early. Nice. And that, okay, so you're talking about the Tesla put. So Tammy on Discord made $850 on that Tesla put in one day, or one trade. And it's like a 5 or 10 minute trade. Boom, hit your weekly target. And you pulling in $800 a week. That's some really nice income coming in on the trading side. So congratulations, Tammy, on that trade. But yeah, it's been almost 45 minutes. So we'll go ahead and get out of here. Again, if you're looking for a new home, check the links in the description. We got something for everyone. If you want to get into advanced options trading, where we target weekly and monthly income, you're going to want to join my coaching group. And there's a link for that in the description as well. But I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night. And if you do join the Discord, I look forward to meeting you. And I'll chat with everyone very, very soon. Cheers, y'all. Bye.